please give a massive round of applause to Jeremy Graves and Andrew Partridge. And then let's talk about the fantastic Anime Limited. There's all their details on their website. Make sure you follow them, because actually they're really good on their Twitter and Facebook accounts at answering your questions really quickly.
Morning everyone, how you doing? Morning. Good. Let's see some reactions. First of all, welcome to this Anime Limited panel. First question of the day from us to you. Raise your hand if you know who the heck we are. Okay, a decent number. Cool. So now, for those of you who don't know who we are, let's give you a little bit of an introduction. First of all, I'm Jeremy Graves. I'm the resident titan of Anime Limited. I'm marketing executive, and I'm the one who's primarily on all the social media, and I come to events like this. And I'm the one really talking to you guys and trying to give you all of the info. I'm the conduit, that's a good word, between the back office and the public, amongst many other things. But speaking of the back office, this guy is very important.
That's some kind of joke answer.
He would take it to that level. And what is it like to pass the lemonade at it?
Well, it's like perfectly acceptable, and that's basically the watershed somewhere in the world.
He's the president of Anime Limited, everybody. He's the one that licenses all the titles that we are privileged to be releasing. And now, when it comes to our releases, again, just to make sure you can understand the context for what we do, we bring over various anime titles, and our catalogue is expanding in a big way, and we've got some news about that for you today that we're going to be sharing with you shortly. But one of the things that we like to do is we like to bring over a more collectors-orientated product. So we know that some of you, for example, see what gets released in Japan, and they have sometimes these big elaborate box sets with a ton of extras and whatnot. And we try and do a version of that for the UK at a price point that is great for everyone, as best as we possibly can. So some of the shows that we have brought over include Kill la Kill. Yes, good. Space Dandy, and one of our upcoming ones actually is Sword Art Online Season 2. And with those, we have really nice packaging. With Space Dandy and Kill la Kill, actually, for all the parts, there's a really cool art book using assets from the Japanese books that came with those. And even with Kill la Kill, we were able to put together a really snazzy looking box to put all 3 parts in, which you can actually buy at our booth today. Booth number 531.
And we also bring a wide selection of, or work with people to bring a wide selection of Japanese guests as well. So you'll see, like at MCM Manchester today, the scriptwriter for some of my favourite episodes of Space Dandy is actually Kimiko Ueno. So she's doing a panel at 2 o'clock today, along with myself, and she's doing signings from
3:30 to 4:30, I guess, the signing area.
So like there'll be a chance to catch up. But we also bring guests like in general as well, so it's kind of a good way to connect people to the shows, because it's all very nice about watching us and such, but it's nice to actually have that extra way of understanding the show. Like you find out all sorts of crazy things as well through the process.
And to put this more into perspective as well, Kimiko Ueno, as Andrew said, was the scriptwriter for loads of episodes of Space Dandy. With a show of hands, how many of you have seen Space Dandy before? Cool. For those of you who don't know it, the really, really quick way I can probably describe it, and some of you will probably agree with me when I say it, is imagine Red Dwarf as an anime.
It's pretty accurate. It's basically a festival animation as well, so if you like something different, like you get a lot of different styles crammed in. It's basically they put together an all-star team of directors, and then have the director behind Cowboy Bebop get them all to do what they want to do, basically. So it's kind of it's a crazy experience, and it's actually not only on DVD and Blu-ray just now, but if you've got a Netflix subscription, like it's streaming there as well, exclusively as well just now. How do you guys do with a Netflix account, actually, out of curiosity? That's actually pretty interesting. Like you see, like it varies between audience to audience. I've done it in this. I've run this question in everywhere from Glasgow to London and everywhere in between. And like you get a different variation every time. There's a lot more people here than some places.
And some of the episodes, again, for those of you who've seen Space Dandy, that Kimiko Ueno has actually written, she wrote the famous zombie episode from very early on in the series. Yeah, that zombie episode is pretty blooming cool. And also from season 2, she wrote the rock and roll episode, where the guys are forming a band, and they have like one riff that they play throughout an entire gig. It's pretty insane. I'm a massive rock fan, by the way, so that's why I went a bit geeky there. So that's really who we are. And we aim to bring a wide variety of titles. We try to go quite diverse in what we bring, which brings us on to some announcements and news for you.
The first one is actually something pretty special. It's not actually really a license acquisition actually as well. It's more a partnership with our old friends actually at Sunrise. I mean, if you don't know who Sunrise is,
Hang on. Oh, we're jumping the gun here, Andrew. We're jumping the gun, though some of you probably figured out what that's going to be. But the first title we actually announced last night on our website at alltheanime.com, and you would have found it also on our social media channels, which are facebook.com/alltheanime and twitter.com/alltheanime. The first title that we're happy to announce this weekend is Ping Pong the Animation, which, as you can probably imply from the image on screen right now, and the name of the actual show, yes, it is about table tennis. And it is awesome.
Out of curiosity, has anyone seen the live action film by the same name? Couple of people, that's more than I expected. I wasn't expecting any hands, to be honest, for it. There was a live action film by the same name, so the director behind Mind Game and Tatami, anyone know Tatami Galaxy? Again, like more hands than I was expecting actually there. Like put this together. It's kind of a weird show. It's rotoscoped as well, so it looks very unique. Like it really kind of fits what we do as a whole.
Yeah, I believe it's from, off the top of my head, I believe it's from the creator of Tekken King Creed, for those of you who remember that. And also the director, who Andrew mentioned a moment ago, he actually directed the Emmy Award-winning food chain episode of Adventure Time.
Yes.
So for those of you who like that, you'll probably get a kick out of this.
He's pretty diverse as a whole. It's exactly as the name suggests, it's all about ping pong as well,
But it's really, really cool. And if you go to our website when you guys get a chance after alltheanime.com, we have an announcement on there and you can watch a really cool trailer for it. And that will be coming out in October. We should have some more details about pricing and the exact date for you soon, but we're just ironing out all the details. We wanted to make sure that was all locked in before we confirmed that. But moving on from that, something which Mr. Andrew Partridge may have alluded to a moment ago.
So back to where I was before, I forgot we were going to go over the original notes earlier. So it's actually this one's more of a partnership with our friends at Sunrise. Not sure how many of you guys know who they are, so a few things they've worked on that you probably do know are Cowboy Bebop for starters, Outlaw Star is another one that you may have heard of, and of course the other one is Mobile Suit Gundam. Now you might have heard in the USA Bright Stuff partnering up with Sunrise to release Gundam there, and I'm very happy to announce that we're actually going to be doing the same, starting with the original Mobile Suit Gundam on Blu-ray in Q4. A little bit back is just now, so we're waiting for the final details of when parts will be delivered and such, but it's pretty exciting news actually. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys know Gundam actually already, or have would recognize it, one of the stompy robots if you saw it out. It's so this is a chance to go back to the beginning. The question we always used to have when I was at Bandai was, where do I start with Gundam? It was the number one question, because we basically, back when I was at Bandai, we released a lot of shows which were out of the original universe, or one or two just compilation films, so it was always very difficult to answer. So we can actually now definitively say when people ask, well, if you want to start right at the beginning, and actually a lot of the shows in the Gundam universe either reference or, in fact, riff off it. If you guys, anyone seen Gundam Seed before? Then if you've never seen the original series before, you'll actually see a lot of similarities when you watch. Not enough to go, hey, they just copied this and made it more, but you'll see a lot of the same themes, a lot of the same content. It's one of the few series of that era which aged, especially for giant robots, which aged pretty well actually. I mean, okay, the animation shows it's been restored into really beautiful HD, and both the dub and sub have been included in it. But the story is what's really actually, bizarrely for a director who has created works which are very difficult to understand sometimes, it's actually lasted pretty well. And it's well worth diving into. So it's going to be split across two sets. So it'll be part one, probably early Q4. We're just waiting for the final delivery dates for the masters before we confirm. And part two won't be far behind that as well. It'll follow a lot after the US schedule. And as you can guess as well, given it is a partnership, it's not the only Gundam you'll be seeing, but right now this is where it's going to begin for us. And I think we'll have some more news for you and special events actually for MCM October time. I can't say any more than that just now, so I'm waiting for final details on what I'm going to get my hands on. But
Oh, you tease, Andrew.
yeah, like I mean, so this has never been this has also never been shown in the UK before. There's been 3 compilation films, but much as like anything, you can't compress 43 episodes down even into 3 films easily without losing something. And there's a new series out just now from the creators of Gundam as well, called Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin, which actually goes even further back from the original series. So if you've tuned into that by mistake, like you're actually going to gain a lot by watching the original series as well, because there's a lot of characters in that who you see some of them at the end of their time in the Gundam universe, some of them as they mature, etc. It's actually quite eye-opening to go back to the original series after watching the Origin, actually, I find.
And as Andrew said, it's the first in what we hope is going to be a really fruitful partnership. We're all massive Gundam fans in the office. Andrew and I like to talk about it quite regularly, in fairness. And being able to bring the original series, the one that started it all, to the UK for the first time in its entirety is going to be so cool. And in fact, it's almost on Blu-ray. We get to see it in its remastered HD glory. And from those of you who have seen some recent HD remaster releases, it's pretty amazing what they can do. So we're really looking forward to seeing how this Blu-ray of Mobile Suit Gundam turns out.
Given there were a fair few people interested in Gundam as well, actually, quick show of hands here. I'll do this in order. There's basically 2 options. I've had a discussion with Sunrise about it. I don't think they're sure which the correct answer is either. I feel the answer is collectors, but they were debating between whether the correct answer is kind of a more standard edition for it. So they can keep the price lower and sell more. There's actually more of a demand for kind of a collector's edition version of Mobile Suit Gundam here. So I was wondering how many of you would be interested if it was kind of an anime limited style collector's edition of it. So kind of that's what I suspected. How many of you would really don't care? You just want the show in whatever format it comes in, as long as it's on Blu-ray. That is interesting, actually. So yeah, I'll have words.
You will have words.
There will be words. No, because it is a partnership as well, it's all about kind of working out what works best for everyone in the mix and trying to make sure that you guys get the best possible thing out of it as well.
So from the news of Gundam, we've got a bit of a different announcement I like to think for you, but one that I'm also really excited about. So our next announcement is that we are going to be bringing to the UK the series Beck Mongolian Chop Squad.
Which is one I'm pretty sure almost literally nobody was expecting.
So for those of you unaware of this, for one thing, it's a really fun show. The idea of it is that a group of people are forming a band and they want to make it big, and it's got a phenomenal soundtrack with it. It did get part of a UK release. We were trying to figure this out. We reckon it was 4 volumes.
4 volumes, I believe, based on what was already BBFC'd.
So 4 out of 6 or 7, we believe, total. So it was never actually finished in the UK, and since that, it just went out of print. It just wasn't available.
So we're going back to, and we're going to finish the job, basically. So it'll come out in a complete collection. We're trying to work out what we can do just now to make it a little special if we can. Obviously, given the age and the fact it's only really available just now. The Japanese version, there is a Blu-ray, but we're not sure of the logistics on it, and we really want to get a version out to people as quickly as possible and get it back into circulation. So we're looking at what we can do there just now. It will be on DVD and it will be at an accessible price point because we want you guys to catch up on a classic piece of animation out there. And since it is DVD only just now, we want to make that something that you can pick up and really give a punt to.
And it's going to be really, really good fun. We're going to hopefully have a trailer on our site either later today or probably by the close of the weekend.
The opening's really catchy as well. So, isn't it modelled around like Nirvana a little bit as well?
I think so. Yeah, there's lots of influence.
There's a lot of influence on it by that, which is interesting. The reason, incidentally, it's often highlighted as Mongolian Chop Squad, as you can guess, is that the name Beck might be a little bit contentious at times versus the musician by the same name. Unfortunately.
Yeah, so...
Not so much for beer in that case, though.
Nah, but read between the lines of that, you'll get what we mean. So yeah, everyone, Beck Mongolian Chop Squad coming to DVD. We're going to be releasing the entire series. In terms of date, hoping probably November time.
Should be November, yeah.
Yeah, like we said with some of our other titles we mentioned today, we're going to have more details in the coming weeks. We just want finalising and such. But from there, we have got
one of my favourites.
We've got one more announcement for you, and with this show, some of you may have actually already seen most of it because it's not actually finished airing yet in Japan.
There's a funny story behind that one, but it's also one of my favourite shows of this year, to be honest, actually. Like one of two, actually. Like I said, MCM May I two shows I really wanted this year. And if I could take them off my list, I would be a very happy person, actually.
And so with that in mind, we are delighted to announce that Anime Limited has acquired Blood Blockade Battlefront. Which, for one thing, is a phenomenal name. Two, it's a phenomenal series.
So it's by the creator, like the original manga artist behind Trigun. If anyone's familiar with Trigun, it's taken on a lot of the same feeling actually as well. It's kind of what makes it special as well as the anime goes its own direction. So the character in the top left with green eyes, she's not in the manga at all. And normally that's a recipe for disaster in most anime. But in this one it actually works and they kind of run with it. So you get an experience which is actually kind of different to the manga, and it's almost even more enjoyable actually, I would say at times. It's so enjoyable in fact the animation studio working on it didn't want to give it up. So with the last episode they wanted to make it even longer than a normal episode. So that's why the last episode hasn't actually aired yet just now, I believe. It was announced it was going to be later on at some point. And you can tell from the animation as well, actually, that the people working on it themselves have had a great deal of fun making it. The ending sequence, for example, is basically just an outer sequence. The whole cast basically just having fun dancing, basically. And the music is great. It's again another example of, for anyone who's listened to things like Attack on Titan, Alpha Zero, or Guilty Crown, for example. It's the same. They were all composed by someone called Hiroyuki Sawano, who was originally a television and live-action based composer. And Blood Blockade Battlefront, I believe, is debuting someone else, who was originally a TV and live-action composer. It really shows because there's a wide variety of music, kind of more in the vein of things you'd expect from someone like Yoko Kanno, for example. And it's that kind of explosive combination which makes it worthwhile. It's all most of it, up until the last episode, is available on viewster.com just now in the UK to watch. It's absolutely free of charge. It's just some advertising beforehand, so I'd really recommend you check it out.
So as Andrew said, you can actually watch all of the episodes that have aired to date at viewster.com, of which we've actually partnered with to do a lot of simulcasts with. And for those of you wondering, yes, them having Blood Blockade Battlefront was part due to our acquisition, but at the time we couldn't announce it, so we had to kind of play it by ear on that. But you can watch lots of our titles on there. From last season alone, there's The Heroic Legend of Arslan, which this adaptation of that story is by the creator of Full Metal Alchemist. So if you guys are a fan of that, it's really well worth checking out. It's really good fun. There's Plastic Memories. There's also Seraph at the End, which is animated by the same studio who did Attack on Titan. There's lots and lots of stuff on there.
More recently as well, there's a Gangster as well, which is also one of ours. One of our new episodes. Has anyone checked out Gangster yet? Incidentally, it was
such good fun.
If you like Black Lagoon, you will very likely like Gangster as well. The two have quite a bit in common.
And so, when it comes to announcements, that's what we've got new title-wise, but we wanted to run through with you what you can expect throughout the fourth quarter of the year. And we will preface this by saying there are a few titles we are still working on to see if we can incorporate them into our lineup for Q4. So, we're not try again, Jeremy. So don't expect this to be our final Q4 lineup. There will likely be some additions, but as it stands, this is where things stand. In October, we will have Ping Pong the Animation, as we mentioned earlier. Sword Art Online Season 2 Part 2 will be available in October as well. That will also be getting a collector's edition Blu-ray DVD version and a standard DVD version, as we're going to be doing with Part 1 very shortly. And then, obviously, Mobile Suit Gundam Part 1, October is where we're aiming for on that front, but again, still all TBC on that. For November, there is Beck Mongolian Chop Squad, all going well. We're hoping by mid to late November, maybe the time when Mobile Suit Gundam Part 2 will be available. But when Andrew was saying earlier it wouldn't be far behind, we literally mean it might not be that far behind, so that's pretty cool on that front. Then moving more to later November, but again, dates still to be confirmed, we've got a wonderful film called Fusei Memoirs of a Huntress, which if any of you are fans of anime set more in the Edo time period, you'll really get a kick out of it. It's a really fun film. And in addition to that, some of you may have heard of a series which we licensed quite a while ago, and you can actually sample on Netflix if you want to beforehand. Samurai Flamenco will be releasing the first part of that. It will be a Blu-ray subtitle-only release, which is a bit different for us, but we just wanted to try something a bit different. And also, the show looks awesome on Blu-ray as well, but it is subtitle-only. And the reason for that is because there is no English dub. It does not exist. So that's the reason. I can't really say it much more than that. Then moving into December, we will be having the first part of Gundam Reconquista in G, which is a wonderful title in itself. That will also be a subtitle-only release because there is no English dub.
Well, I think that might include a very large map detailing exactly what is happening to people. It's a little bit complex, which is interesting. Like maybe even the Japanese version had a kind of a plan to help people explain. It's always interesting when you have that kind of additional material because it provides you with a whole new angle to the show basically, which is pretty cool.
And then also in December, we are hoping we will have Gankutsuo, the Count of Monte Cristo, available, and we're planning something a little bit special for that as well, all going well.
Yeah, we're working on a steel box for that as well, actually. Just
some really, really cool artwork.
The artwork, if you've never seen it before, it was actually, Gonzo worked very closely with several fashion designers in Paris to design the characters, and then they designed the material to look very psychedelic. It's basically the story of the Count of Monte Cristo, but with space vampires. Which you can't make it better than that, to be honest, actually. And it works really well, actually, as a result. It's one of the things they made during their glory days at Gonzo. So it really shows, and the love there really does shine out.
And then a couple more titles we're hoping to have out around December time will be Sword Art Online Season 2 Part 3. So we're really trying to crack on with how quickly we can get that show out. And then also, before the end of the year, all going well, we'll finally be releasing A Letter to Momo. For those of you who have followed the saga of that film, it's been a while since we announced it. It might be, what, 2 years?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So it's been a while, but all going well should have it out for the end of the year.
We'll be doing a collector's edition for that one as well, so it'll be something nice to really do it justice, because it's a beautiful film. It actually screened in the UK, obviously via the Japan Foundation's tour this year as well, so it went across the UK. Did anyone catch it while it was on the big screen out of curiosity? I saw one. I'm seeing a hand go up.
I saw a hand and a half. Someone sort of went like, I don't know. But hey ho. And one other release, which all going well we're planning to have out before the end of the year, is our release of Full Metal Panic Season 1 for Mofu and the second raid.
So we're planning a very nice edition for that just now. We're just kind of going through we're going through the assets to see if we can do an ultimate edition, or if we have to do just a kind of a nice collector's edition. It really depends on how the assets come out. Some of it's interesting, sometimes when you get materials from Japan, they come in very interesting formats. And this particular one, it's like playing a guessing game at times, because file formats, sometimes when you have to pull them out of zip files and such in Japanese, they lose their file format suffix, and they get other dots instead in the way. So you have to effectively reconstruct your entire file set. Just trying different file names at the end occasionally.
And when you're getting, say, a good few hundred files delivered to you from Japan, it takes a bit of time. And lots of trial and error.
It's entertainment at the very least. That's one of the behind-the-scenes things you don't hear a lot in anime, but it's quite interesting, actually.
And some of you a few weeks ago may have noticed we talked about that in our weekly newswire that we do. Like I said, we're sort of ironing out details, but we're very happy with potential options we've got planned, but until we've got it locked down, we sort of want to be hesitant as to how much more we say, just in case, for all we know, it completely changes, which would suck.
And you usually get a fair dose of this discussion in our podcast as well, which runs roughly twice a year.
Yeah, we are really going to record another episode soon. It's been one of those month and a half. time periods. But yes, in fact, you know what? I'm going to tell you now. We're going to record one this weekend. I've decided.
I doubt, but we'll do one during the next week.
There's always the pub. So from there, we're going to move on to an audience Q&A portion of the panel now, and who knows what else might happen. So, Senor Claw, if you are lurking, oh look at that. It's
I'm fears from the rafters.
It's almost as if I knew this was going to happen.